Okay, quick public service announcement on vet wrap. Put my scissors down. Vet wrap versus Elasticon. These are both bandaging supplies. Both of them are for wrapping feet or wrapping a wound. This comes in many different colors, called vet wrap, and it's kind of a rubbery quality. The best way to learn the difference for yourself between vet wrap and Elasticon is to just take a little piece and you're going to wrap it around your finger. Hopefully I can still work with this. And you're going to pull it kind of snug, just like you would wrap a foot or a wound. And you're just going to put that on your finger. And we're going to let it sit there, right? Then I'm going to take a piece of Elasticon, which is always comes in this color. It doesn't come in different colors. This comes with, it comes in rainbow, it comes in My Pretty Pony, it comes in every color, solid, it comes in patterns. A lot of people buy this because it's less expensive when you go to the tack store or the feed store. The vet wrap is a lot cheaper than the Elasticon. But the vet wrap, this is to demonstrate the difference. The vet wrap will come in lots of colors, but it's always this sort of rubbery, stretchy material. And the Elasticon always comes in this sort of pinkish, I don't know, flesh color. And with Elasticon, what we do first is pre-stretch it, right? So you unroll it. I showed in one other video how you can tape it onto a wall and pre-stretch it yourself and then re-roll it. So with Elasticon, I pre-stretched my little piece. I'm just going to cut off a little segment, and I highly suggest that you try this for yourself because you want to have both products in your first aid kit for very different reasons. If I have to do a pressure wrap or a pressure bandage, that's when I do use the vet wrap. And I will do a video on how to do a pressure bandage. If you have severe bleeding, if you have a cut that's deep enough, it should have had stitches, but it can't get stitches, that's where the vet wrap will be handy. Or if you need to make a tourniquet, vet wrap is very handy, right? Elasticon is for everything else. If I have to wrap for an abscess, if I have to wrap the foot. So now I'm putting the Elasticon on my finger about the same level of tension, right, that I used with the vet wrap. The longer I sit here, and this is why you kind of need to try it for yourself, you feel the difference of wrapping firm enough that this is going to stay in place and wrapping firm enough that this is going to stay in place. The longer I keep this on my finger, the pressure that I'm feeling on my finger internally, it's not changing. You pre-stretch this to make it easier to wrap. But even if you don't pre-stretch it, once you put Elasticon on, it just stays the same. Once you put vet wrap on, the longer I'm sitting here, the tighter it's getting. So I don't have to tighten it again. The longer it's on, it keeps contracting, it keeps tightening. If I start wiggling my finger, it starts tightening more. So in movement, the problem with vet wrap, even though it's cheaper, you cannot leave it on longer than 24 hours because it will continue to tighten. So like a client once wrapped her horse's hoof for a hoof abscess, but she used the vet wrap and she left it on for 2 or 3 days, which is perfectly fine with Elasticon. You can leave Elasticon on until it gets dirty or it starts to fall off. It will never cut off the circulation. But if you're treating for a hoof abscess and you're using this material called vet wrap, if we have to go around the horse's coronet band, which is the top of the hoof, the end of the hair, if we have to wrap over that coronet band and we use vet wrap, then it can keep tightening. The longer it's on, the tighter it becomes. So it's good to put these two products on your fingers and you can walk around You can do it for an hour if you want. You'll feel how the vet wrap keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So the risk with the cheaper product is you cut off the circulation. Hello, kitty. Yes. So the lady who treated her horse's hoof abscess, and she used the vet wrap and left it on, I don't know, maybe 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, it cut off the circulation of the coronet band and stopped the circulation to the hoof. And over what could have been just a simple routine hoof abscess, it's easy to clear up, it turned into the loss of circulation caused the horse to slough the whole hoof. And the horse had to be put down. There's no coming back from that. So if we're wrapping a wound anywhere on the lower leg or over the soft tissue above the hoof, and we're using this vet wrap, there's a chance that we can wrap it too tight and cut off the circulation, or it self-tightens the longer it's on. And so even if we wrap it carefully, it could tighten down to the point that it inhibits or even cuts off the circulation of the leg. So that's why it's a great product if you need a tourniquet for severe bleeding, especially in the lower leg, an arterial bleed or arterial branch. This stuff is wonderful to stop bleeding because it's going to keep staying tight, right? Like a tourniquet. This stuff, if I'm just wrapping a hoof abscess or a cut like I demonstrated in another video with the horse that had the cut on his hoof, this stuff I can leave on 2-3 days, no problem. Or if they're in a stall, I could leave it on 3 or 4 days, as long as it's depending on the wound itself, right? If the wound needs fresh bandages every day, I have to change it every day. But if it's sort of at the end of healing, I can leave this Elasticon on longer without any risk of cutting off circulation. So if you're a new horse owner or you're new to wrapping wounds or wrapping feet or treating hoof abscesses, I definitely recommend spend the extra money for the Elasticon, and you will treat the wound without risking any other problems. Only use the vet wrap if your vet shows you where to use it, when to change it. Your vet will have specific instructions. If they're using vet wrap, they will tell you how many hours or maybe 1 day before you have to change the dressing completely. Because each time you put it on new, the longer you leave it, the tighter it gets. So that's my lecture on Elasticon versus vet wrap. And you can avoid a lot of problems if you don't risk cutting off the circulation.